By the Jewelry by BDK YouTube channel. I know you didn't come here for a sermon. So here's the video. And guess what? We'll talk. Well, hey family, happy Tuesday. This is Darlene stopping by real quick. So all summer I basically was wearing flip-flops, and I still wear flip-flops. Anytime there's some sun outside and I have errands to run or just don't feel like putting on shoes, I have some flip-flops that I decorated. I also wear other little cute shoes too, but I like to just kind of throw on my flip-flops, and I generally wear black ones. I have black, pink, yellow, just different colors that I myself, whenever Navy Federal Navy Federal must be wanting to give me a loan. Whenever I think about, like Old Navy, whenever Old Navy has a sale where you get these flip-flops for I think $1, maybe like $1.29 or something like that. It may be a little bit cheaper sometime during the year. I go in and buy a whole bunch of them. So I buy a whole bunch of them because I would generally cover them with the material. And when I cover them with the material, I decorate them. And I will have flip-flops at my table to sell as well. So that's a little different addition to the jewelry. And I'll have journals and then some flip-flops. So I'm going to show you guys how I decorate these flip-flops real quick. Not real quick, but quick enough. So we're going to go ahead and cut the tag off. Old Navy. And the regular price for these things are $3.99. But they'll be having them on sale where they're like $1 something. Like really cheap enough to where you can go in and just get a whole bunch of them, which is like what I do. There is a way. I'm going to take this little tag off right here. And because Old Navy's flip-flops are pretty sturdy and they're really good quality, I don't never try to take their name off. I just leave the name on, and people are familiar with Old Navy. So if they see a pair of Old Navy flip-flops decorated, they're knowing, oh, okay, those are going to last for a while, because they generally last for a good while, especially if you don't wear them like every single day all the time. Just a quick pair of cute flip-flops you want to throw on, and then by the time you finish decorating these things, they look very dressy. So you could wear, I have worn my flip-flops with some of everything, to some of everything, because it depends on how I decorate them. So we're going to do this, and generally I will take this part out and take it through the hole. But I'm not going to do that this morning. I'm going to just show you guys how, just tie it around the end right here. So we just going to take this and we're going to press it, push it through. And when we push it through, you can see what happens on this side. So you got that right there. So we're going to tie the material around here nice and secure. And then we'll put the material through the hole and then bring it up, so that way it's easier for you to do, as opposed to me showing you how to take this little thing out and put it back in, because sometimes it can be a little difficult. So all we're gonna do, I already cut some material, and you need to have the material cut like this. It does not have to be perfect at all. So all I'm gonna do is take it meaning the material, and all I'm doing is going to tie a knot. Let me see if I can. I'm going to just tie this around here. Okay, so that's basically what I'm going to do. I'll tie that around there. And then I'm going to take the material. So now I want to bring this back up. And in order to bring that back up, I first want to take, and it takes a little work. It ain't like you're going to be doing this little part, not unless you just get really good at it. So I'm going to just take the material, take my little pliers, because all I want to do is push that material through. So I want to push the material through, bring it through this side. Be careful to only grab the material and not the not the rubber, because we don't want to damage the rubber. So we're just going to pull it right on through like that. Keep pulling it through. And then we're going to start wrapping. All right. I'm going to turn it this way because I don't want to accidentally hit the camera. Okay, so all we're doing is pulling it through. You see that? That's what we want. Go ahead and pull that through. Now we have both pieces of it. It meaning the material. And then all we're going to do with this little part is go ahead and press that back down like this. So that little part goes back down, and then you can see we got both pieces pulled through. So all we're going to do, now we're going to start wrapping. I'm going to take both of these, and I usually will glue. I don't think I have no glue up here. I got to go get some E6000. Let me see if I got a tube still up here. Okay. I'm going to take a little bit of whatever it is I got. I'm going to put a little bit of this E6000, if some will come out. Yeah, a little bit is coming out. And I'm going to just dab it along here. I'm going to dab it along there so that that little small piece, I'm going to cut a little bit of it off. That little small piece can stay against that part. So when we start wrapping, we don't need both of them. So we're just going to start wrapping. And this part right here, you got to get this. And all you're going to do is start wrapping and bringing that material right on through. Almost like threading. And then when you first wrap it, you want to make sure that that material is all the way at the bottom. And then you're just going to wrap. And then you just keep going, wrapping up. And then as you wrap it, you want the end of the material right here to be as close to the top part up here as you can get it without that white showing. So then we'll just wrap it. Put that material through, and then we're just going to keep wrapping. Hopefully you guys can see this. So we're just wrapping it, and you can see what that looks like so far. And you can use, like, if you got something old and it's maybe cotton material, you know, whatever type of material, really does not matter. And you just want to keep putting that through. You can even kind of roll this up like this. So then we just going to take it around like that. Take our little ball. And you can see how now we're starting to cover that whole strap right there. So make sure it's nice and even. And if you want to, you can put E6000 or whatever kind of glue you want along here. It really does not matter. It's making sure the end parts here are secure. Because if the ends, like right here, are not secure, that's where the rest of the shoe will come apart. Or whatever it is that you're doing to the shoe will come apart. So we're just going to keep wrapping it. And then as you wrap it, make sure you're pulling that material nice and snug, because you don't want anything loose. Keep wrapping it. And then you can see what that's starting to look like. Wrap. And then we got it here. Wrap. And then wrap. Now we're right here at the top part, and you can see how we got all that done. And then we just gonna make sure it's nice and snug and wrap. Pull it nice and snug and wrap. Nice and snug. And then right here, wrap. And then we're just going to take it over to the other side. And you can see how that looks. Oops, hold on, let me make sure it's nice and snug. Nice and snug. So now we're at the top part of it. So all we're going to do is take the material, fold it, and then wrap it on the other side. And then we want to make sure that that material is nice and flat and it's not. So what happened is, if you can see, you see how the material is turned the wrong way? That's not what I want. I want it to be turned the right way, like that. So I'm going to pull this through. And then we're just going to wrap. It takes a little bit, but as long as you got the material the right way, you should be able to wrap it good. And because it's this type of material, you do have like these little strings. You could always cut those little strings off. So we're just going to wrap. Go down. Wrap it. And then I'm trying to hold on to the, and then wrap it. Wrap it. Take that material and wrap. So basically all it is wrapping and then making sure that you got it to where you don't see any of the white shoe, at least on the strap area. Put that material through, and again we're just going to wrap. Just keep wrapping. Wrap. And I always cut extra. I cut it extra long because I would rather have more material than less material. There have been times where I have made these or covered these shoes, and I've had to use different materials, or I've had to cut a couple of pieces to cover the shoe all the way, and I don't like to do that. I just like to make sure I got enough of the material. Okay, so we're going to do this. Now we are all the way at the bottom right here of the shoe. So what you don't want to do, let me wrap this. What you don't want to do is have like knots or crowded material right here in this part of the shoe, because this part of the shoe is where your foot is and you can feel anything that's there. So the idea is to decorate the shoe so you do not feel, you know, so that they're cute and they're comfortable. So you don't want to be feeling anything right here, like no knots, no, I'm going to use some wire to wrap around here to decorate the top of them. So even down here, you want to make sure you don't have wire down up in here where your foot can feel it, because that's a really uncomfortable feeling. But I'm going to show you, so we need to make sure this is right. Okay, so we're going to get this all the way down, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the material through the hole. So this is what we're going to do. We need to push this side and you can use your pliers if it's difficult, and it's going to be a little bit because remember I already got this done right here. So all I'm going to do is take this material. I'm going to stick that material through here, because that's all I need. And then it should come out, start coming out on the other side right here. So then I'll pull. Oh shoot, hold on. And then you got to make sure what you're pulling. So I think it's on this side. So there we go. You want to pull that material through. Now I can use my hand to pull it through. And sometimes it's a little challenge, but you can do it. So there we go. So we're pulling it through. And then that's what we want to do. And then once we pull that through, I'm going to push this back up, because now I need to straighten this part out. So you can see the material is all the way there, all the way there. And that's how we get it all the way there, by putting it through. So now what I'm going to do is take that material around that part, and then I'm going to tie a knot. So I'm going to pull the material. Now we want to tie a knot right there, but then I want to do that twice because we didn't glue this part. Let's see. That should be good. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just cut it, and then I'll put a little E6000 on it. So I'll cut that, take the E6000, a little bit that I do got, and then I'm going to put it on that, all on that, and then I'm just going to go ahead and smash it down. So what happens is, I'm going to put this cap back on here. By putting the E6000 on the material, of course, it hardens it. And then as a person walks in the flip-flops, the pressure that is put on the shoe, when a person walks, the pressure will make this smash down even more. So don't even worry about that once you get them all covered and stuff. So this is what it looks like covered. So this is one of the shoes, and you can always go back and cut off this, cut off all the string. And if you don't want the string cut off, you don't even have to cut the string off, because what I'm going to do is take some wire, and we are going to use the wire we got, this whole big nice spool, and we're going to use wire to wrap around here. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. So I need quite a bit of wire, and these are very, very comfortable. Now if you put the decoration on right, you won't feel anything. It's like walking, you know, in a regular pair of flip-flops. So I'm going to take off quite a bit of this wire. Okay, so we are going to take our wire, and then let me see which beads I want to use. I was thinking I wanted to use some of the some of these green ones. Hold on a second. Okay, so we're going to use some of the little small wood beads we got, because we're going to make them look real cute. So all we're going to do is, because remember, we don't want anything down here, because we don't want it to feel uncomfortable on our feet. So we're going to start the wire about right here. And then we're just going to wrap that wire around. And then with the wire, you can see how I wrapped it around. And then I'm going to take it and then fold it on top of the shoe like that. And the reason why I'm doing that is because down here, I don't want to roll it and then have it to where it got a big twisted part of wire down there. I don't want to do that. So I want it to feel as comfortable as possible on the foot. So now I'm going to start taking the wire. This might be a little difficult for me to do on camera, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to take the wire, and then we're just going to keep wrapping our wire. You guys might miss some of this because I can see already this is going to be difficult. Okay, so I'm going to take the wire and put it through. And you can use a thin 18 gauge aluminum wire because you don't want it too thick. So all you're doing, I might have to do this off camera because I don't want to cut the wire shorter, because then I have to, be figuring ways out to. So all I did was wrap some of the wire right here. I took that other little piece, folded it up, laid it against the material, and then all I'm doing is taking the wire, what I have, and wrapping it on top of that wire that I got right there. And I'm going to show you why we're doing that. And then what we're going to do is, I might not be able to do it this way. So let me try something. I'm going to see if I can start putting some beads on it. If not, I might have to do some of this off camera. And then come back and just show you. So hopefully you guys are getting the gist of what it is that I'm doing. Okay, so I put some beads on. I'm going to pull these beads down. Okay, so we got beads down. So we got some beads on the wire. And all I'm going to do is start separating the beads. And then wrapping on top. Taking the wire. You probably can't see this, so I'm going to do my best. And then I'm going to take another bead and then close it on top of there. And then we're just going to wrap the wire around nice and snug, because we want the beads to lay comfortably and snugly, because we don't want them coming apart. Well, they won't come off anyway, but we still want them to look good. So then we'll wrap the wire on top again. And you can see that on the top, right? And then we will wrap the wire again. So then we have 2 beads left, and then we'll lay those on top. You can see like that. And then we're going to wrap this around. So basically now it's like threading. So we have one of these beads left. And we're just going to lay it right on top right here. You can see that. And then we're just going to wrap that wire. Okay. So you can see how the gold looks on there, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them gathered together like that. And then I'm going to take I'm going to make sure they're nice and snug together. And then I'm going to take the wire. I'm going to take the wire through here. Hold on a second. Let me get it in. And then this is why you got to use the thinner type wire for this right here, because you want this to stay. So let me get it to where I want it to be, so right on top of it. And I'm going to take the wire one more time. Because I want it to be right in the middle with the rest of the beads. And then I'm going to go back between each bead. So you can see how what I'm going to do now is go back between each bead. And making sure that it stay lined up like that. Making sure that your wire is nice and snug. And this might not be a good video, but hopefully you get the gist of it. It's just tough dealing with the wire. Okay, so now I'm going to take it, wrap around here. Wrap around the bottom one. And then I'm going to take the wire and go down to under this bead, and that adds just a little bit more security. So I'm going to take the wire between each bead. So now it's basically like threading. So between each bead, okay, and then we'll do it all the way to the brown bead. So all the way to the brown bead. And you like, Darlene, that don't hurt on your foot? No ma'am, no sir. Remember, I wear these all the time and they're very comfortable. As long as the part here that touches your foot is nice and smooth, you should be okay. All right, so we got that all the way like that. Right, so that's what we did, but then we need to go back so we can get down here. So then all we're going to do is wrap our wire, and then actually I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and close it off right here. Then that way we don't have to keep dealing with the wire. So if I was making these for myself, I would go back up with the wire. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and thread the wire through here. So you're basically going under a couple of the wires. So you're basically like threading. So you're going to take the wire under a couple of those and then get it through. Wait, hold on. Under a couple of them, like threading. So you get it through, and then now you want to pull that wire because now it's almost like you're sewing. So you want to get that wire through there, and you want to stay on the top up here. You don't want a bunch going down under here, because remember, this part touches your foot. So you want all the gathering to go on up here. So now I'm going to take the wire again and take it over the top over here, and then bring it through, because it's like threading, so we can secure the wire. So now we want to pull the wire. Like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this wire. So I'm going to cut the wire. Now what I'm going to do is, remember, you know how I like to tuck. So we're just going to take the wire. We're going to find us somewhere to tuck the end of that wire and wrap it around up in there and then tuck it. And then that's what we want to do. Go ahead and smash it down. Make sure we keep our beads on the top. Okay, so far we got this side done. This side of the bead. So you can actually do one side if you want to do one side. You can do the inner side, you can do the outer, but we're going to do the other side too. And then what we're probably going to do is we'll take one of the wood pieces and wood piece around here like this. So we're going to take the shoe and we're going to put that right on top of the top. I'm going to take the wire and wrap the wire around, just right down here. Wrap it a couple of times. And then I think I should be able to, actually I'm not going to be able to do that, but let's see. And it takes a little manipulation, you know, to make it work, but we're going to make it work. So if you make a pair of these, you'll start figuring stuff out on how to make the top part look like right here when you put something on here. So we're just going to wrap the wire. And I want to make sure the wire is under the bead. And then I want to bring the wire back around. And I want to make sure it's under the bead. And remember, you don't want a whole lot going on under the bottom because that's the part that hits your foot. And this should be just enough right here. So I'm going to see if I can take this wire through. See if I can get this wire through, and I can. Oops, so that came out. Okay, so we got that wire in. I'm going to pull it nice and tight. So right here, for some reason, this wire, now we'll just do this. Okay, so we want to take that wire around. And all I'm doing is wrapping. So if you can't see it, I'm basically just wrapping the wire. I'm wrapping the wire and tucking the wire. So now what I'm going to do is take this side of the wire and bring it up. So now I got to start finding places to tuck the wire. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that off about right there. And because we have wire wrapped, we can go ahead and take this little end. Let me turn it this way. And then we can just wrap it under the wire on top. So make sure you get it under. You can see how that's coming under the wire. So I'm going to pull it and I'm going to keep wrapping it around the wire. So now I'm going to tuck it. and then I'll push that down on there. So what happened is that wire is tucked now on this side. So now I have to do the same on this side. So I'm going to cut it about right here, it meaning the wire. So now you can see this little piece of wire left, right? So all I need to do is take that little piece of wire, and now I want to tuck it under the wire. Try to get it under the wire. Now, hold on. Let's try this side. So you can see, or what you can't see, I've tucked the wire under wire that is already there. So there's not a possibility, well, there's always a possibility, but the idea is that the wire will not come off because I took it under the wire and tucked it and then tucked it again. Also on this side. So now you have like one half of your shoe already decorated. And then you have your little piece right here at the top. So when you put your foot into it, you can see how cute these would look on your foot. So you got this at the top, and under here is very comfortable. I mean, you can feel the wire there, but it's not uncomfortable. And it's not uncomfortable because remember, we didn't put a bunch of knots and different things under here so that it would make the foot feel uncomfortable. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go ahead and finish this side right here.
I like my mornings quiet in bed, alone with my coffee and the thoughts in my head. I don't even mind taking a walk by myself, going out for a long drive with nobody else. So you can't blame me for being
where your shadow lies. Every breath you take, a melody in disguise. You move like silk, like a secret breeze. I'm lost, I'm bound, you're the lock and key. Under your spell, I can't break free. You got me, baby, baby. Down on my knees, under your spell. You're all I see. Under your spell, you're all I see. This magic, baby, you and me, you and you. Your touch is a spark, sets my heart aflame. Each whisper you give makes me call your name. Time stops for us, nothing feels the same. Your love's a fire, it burns so slow. I'm tangled up, don't wanna let go. Under your spell, I can't break free. You got me, baby, baby. Down on my knees, under your spell. You're all I see. Under your spell, you're all I see. It's magic, baby, you and me. Under your spell, I can't break free. You got me, baby, baby. Down on my knees, under.
And I really don't have to put anything else on here. So this is what this shoe looks like. So then we're going to work on our other shoe. And when I say these are really comfortable, these are really comfortable, really nice shoes. I like to do a lot of black ones because I wear a lot of black. So you could imagine if you got a black outfit on, you got your black flip-flops on, and your shoes are decorated like this, however you want to decorate it, my Lord. And then your toes are done. So these are like really cute, and you could see the video don't do them any justice. And then making sure down here nothing is, and you know this is secure because we tied it on the bottom and we put glue. So one side we tied down here and put glue on it only because to make it more secure, and then the other side we tied it and then we brought it through and then start wrapping it around. So this is our first shoe. And now we're going to work on our second shoe. And oh, you know what I'm going to do? Let's do this so I can kind of shorten the video because it's like an hour. It's already over an hour. Not that I mind. I like making these because they're very soothing, and usually what I do is I'll have some little jazz playing in the background or some neo soul or listening to an audio book or, you know, just something. And it's really cool. So with this, you can tell we don't need all those beads. So we are going to take this many beads off. And then what we're going to do, make sure that wire is bent. We're just going to wrap the wire here. Wrap the wire there. And we do have space right there for one more bead. So let's see if we got a little small one we can add right there real quick. Like maybe this one. So just a nice little small bead. And we'll put that one right there. And then we'll just wrap the wire one more time. And then what we're going to do to secure these beads, now we're going to take the wire back down. So as we take the wire back down, we're going to put the wire between the bead like that. put the wire between the bead, and then we'll put it between, we'll do one more time, and then we'll take it between the next bead, and we'll do it one more time, third bead. So it's almost like sewing or threading, and we'll put that one, and then we're going to do it one more time behind the bead. Now we just need to find somewhere to tuck the wire. So we got everything on the top. So all your beads are on top. They're all on top. We don't want nothing under the bottom. We only want our wire to be nice and smooth under the bottom. We don't want no gatherings with the material or anything, because we want the shoe to be as comfortable as possible. So now I'm going to take this wire, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it up here and start to lock it down. So right under there. So we took that wire right under there. Okay. And then we can do one more time. We'll do it one more time under here. And as long as it's, you know, secure, we should be okay. And we'll do it one more time, just for the sake of security. Okay. And now we are going to cut that wire off, and then we just going to take it and tuck it right up under there, and we will take our pliers and smash it in there, smash that down, and that should be very secure. And then we got us two really cool flip-flops. Like really cool flip-flops, and you can tell how beautiful these can look on your own feet. Like just really cool, very comfortable. And once you make a pair, you're gonna keep wanting to make more of these, and you're gonna wear them. You want to wear them yourself. So if you're out there selling at any of these events, do some flip-flops, make some flip-flops. And I know they're very time consuming. It's over an hour just with this video, and this was me making them pretty fast, the fastest I can make them, so the video wouldn't be too long. So you're deciding like, and then before you make them, decide the material you're going to use, decide the beads you're going to use. You do want to use like 18 gauge aluminum wire or even 20 gauge wire, as long as it's thin wire. It's thin enough to be flexible, but it's thick enough to be secure. So you don't want to use wire that's going to break or do anything like that. So basically everything on this shoe, the strap is decorated on the top so that it doesn't bother under your foot, on the top of your foot. When you put your foot in the shoe, you will feel the you can feel the wire, but it doesn't bother you. It's like it's there, just like the strap is there. So it doesn't bother your foot. The only something will bother your foot is if you have knots down here, or if you take the wire too far down, like right up in this area or this area, because right up in here is pretty much where your foot lays. You know, the bottom of your foot kind of lays right here, the arch and, you know, the part of your foot. So right here, you don't want anything, because you don't want the shoe to be uncomfortable. You want it to be as cute as possible and as comfortable as possible. And they are. That's how I know where to start the wire at, and then not to put knots and stuff down here, because I've done it and I'm like, oh no, I can't even wear these because they're uncomfortable. So then I had to go back and figure out, oh, okay, as long as this is smooth and right here is good and the top only is decorated, I'm good. So, and then make sure down here you got it right on the top so that it don't, you know, bother the top of your foot. So these are like really cool, really easy to make. You can see they're easy to make. and they're very comfortable. But anyway, Darlene Knight for Jewelry by BDK, and guess what? We'll talk. Well, hey family, this is Darlene. Want to thank you for stopping by the Jewelry by BDK YouTube channel. I know you didn't come here for a sermon. So here's the video, and guess what? We'll talk. Well, hey family, happy Tuesday. This is Darlene stopping by real quick. So all summer I basically was wearing flip-flops, and I still wear flip-flops. Anytime there's some sun outside and I have errands to run or just don't feel like putting on shoes, I have some flip-flops that I decorated. I also wear other little cute shoes too, but I like to just kind of throw on my flip-flops, and I generally wear black ones. I have black, pink, yellow, just different colors.